guys, I'm back with my third make and take for tonight, and I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful card. This is my Valentine project that we're doing tonight, and this is a little bit over the top. This is not a quick, fast card, but this will get your creative juices going, and you will feel like a true artist when you're done with this card. It's going to show lots of new product as well as some techniques. So let's get started. I do want to point out I did two different versions. I think I like the black one the best. It shows, I don't know, I like them both. So you can see how differently they look on black and white. So it's kind of that ombre look where it goes from dark to light. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need to do is to get this new die, this new thinlet called Bloomin' Heart. Or Bloomin' Love, Bloomin' Heart. It's there with a Valentine suite. It's very, very intricate. You can see it has lots of holes in it, and that's going to help us get the paper out without tearing it. There are some special tools that I highly recommend that you have to do this. This is the Big Shot die brush. You'll find it on page 19. It's very reasonable. It's only $11. And the precision base plate, which I have some people say they're confused. What is a precision base plate? It's different from the magnetic plate, and they're not supposed to be used together. This is for your thinlets that are very intricate, not just a framelit, something that's got lots of things that are going to need to be popped out, okay? The magnetic platform is to hold your framelit around an image. That's why it's magnetic. So that's the difference between these two. You can see all three of them in the Occasions catalog on page 19. So the precision base plate, I will tell you that I used a dryer sheet. A dryer sheet was my go-to. I was using them a lot for my other thinlets, thinlets before we had the precision plate. So I got the precision plate and I started playing with it, and I realized that it does make a big difference. I tried it both ways, this with the dryer sheet and the precision plate, and this one won hands down. The dryer sheet was messy, it was sticky, it didn't work like I thought that it would, surprisingly. All right, a few recommendations from the home office when you're doing this. It's going to cut better on, you're going to get more pressure from your Big Shot on the sides. So try to put it as far over to the side as you can. This is watercolor paper, just FYI, watercolor paper. And putting it, I have my base plate, I have my precision plate, then I have the watercolor paper and the thinlet. And I'm going to put this right on top. And the home office also recommends that we run it through a good 3 or 4 times. And I have found that to be true. Wow, that's really bouncing the camera. I'm sorry, you guys. Let's see if I can hold it and run it through a couple of times. So just go through, and you know your Big Shot better than I do. I have 3 Big Shots for classes, and one I call her Loosey Goosey because she's not very tight. She doesn't squeeze the paper very much. So, and then this one is my better one, which I thought, but I can see here that it did not cut out as well. I'm not ready. It's not ready. I need to see it all cut out. So let's try it on the other side. Another thing that you can do sometimes if you have a Big Shot that is a loosey-goosey girl like this one is to get a piece of cardstock, put it on top. This is called a shim, and this creates, I wish I could get that to not shake while I do this, a lot more pressure pushing those blades down in the paper. So let's go through here a couple more times on the other side. And let's see. That does look better. Can you see how that's coming off? I think that we've got it this time. All right. So let's move this out of the way. This is I always write on my handle so I can tell which Big Shots I have, which one I'm using. And that is my oldest one because it has nothing written on it. So I should have grabbed my newer one. All right, so now you're going to put this down here on this is a foam pad that comes with this brush. And you're just going to brush through, and those little things are going to start to fall off. You see how that's working? And I will tell you that this is much thicker than regular cardstock. Watercolor paper is much thicker. So I did have a little bit of a harder time getting all these guys out with the watercolor paper. But they came out eventually. It just takes some persistence, and I think that this project is worth it. All right, I'll come back in a minute after I get all of these cleaned out. All right, look, he's ready to go. Now, I'm gonna do some aqua painting, some watercoloring. So I got just this is an old backing from designer paper that you can see I use it when I watercolor. And I'm gonna use an aqua painter that just has water in it. And I'm gonna use my re-inker, my Melon Mambo re-inker. And I'm gonna put a couple of drops just out on my acrylic, my block, my stamp block. And before I start on that, I'm gonna get this heart nice and wet. That's going to help that ink spread better, and it's going to keep it from blotching up and when I first put my aqua painter down. And all you have to do with the aqua painter is just squeeze a little bit. You can see the water will come right out. And I'm going to start at the bottom because that's where I want it to be the darkest. And as I work up, you can see it's getting lighter and lighter. And we're going to do this a few times, always starting at the bottom. Because if I started off at the top, it would be dark. You can see how it starts to really spread out. And you're going to keep doing this until you have reached the ombre effect that you like. Kind of think of it in thirds, dark, medium, and light. And really work on those edges. All right, what do you guys think? I think that looks good. All right, so I'm going to close up my aqua painter and make sure you clean that up before you do anything because that is a big mess, and if that ink touches anything, it's going to ruin it. And then I'm going to go set it in a sunny window for about 10 minutes and let it dry. All right, because of the power of TV, I've got a dry one already ready to go. We're going to make it sparkly, and we're going to use something new called the Wink of Stella brush, and it is on page 24, I believe, of your catalog. Let me open up that page so you can see, because you might overlook it with all the other cute things on here. This is it right here. It comes in gold and clear, and we're going to use clear. It has a paintbrush tip, and it is a game changer for me and glitter. You can see that it is just going to put a light coating of glitter on everything, and I'm not going to have it in my hair this afternoon. I'm not going to have it on my face all day. This glitter is super controlled, and you can put exactly where you want it. It's not going to blow away, and I'm going to cover this with glitter. Isn't that beautiful? I am loving this Wink of Stella pen. When you get yours, make sure to unscrew it and take out the little black stopper. I've heard a lot of people saying mine doesn't work, but there's a black stopper in there to keep it from leaking during shipping, so make sure you take that out. All right, so once that's dry, I'm going to put it on my Whisper White card base. We're going to set it over here and let it dry while we do a couple of other things. I want to show you how to make this really cute arrow. You're going to be surprised. All right, you need a 1 inch wide piece of gold glimmer paper, and it doesn't matter really how long it is. I think 3 or 4 inches would be long enough because we're going to punch off some pieces. So I'm going to first put it in my triple banner punch, and I'm going to punch, and that creates that end. Then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to stick it in like this, and see how it's going to repeat that pointy part right here, and I'm going to punch. All right, and for the other pointy part, we've already got that there. We're going to stick this in the tree punch. See how that creates a nice little pointy arrow? Just like that. All right, so now take your paper snips, snip, snip, snip right here on these edges of the end of the arrow. You're going to need a kitchen skewer. You can find those at the grocery store. I have a ton of them. And you're going to cut about a 3 or 4 inch piece. And use junky scissors for this. Don't use your good, you know, your good scissors for that. All right, and then let's get some glue dots. I wonder how many times I've said glue dots tonight. That would be a fun game, right? How many times would she use a glue dot? Usually it's dimensionals, but tonight is definitely glue dots. A couple more right there. And there's our arrow. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to take this apart. This is new twine in the Occasions catalog. It is Melon Mambo and Basic Black, and I tell everybody a funny story. When I first saw this in the catalog, I literally teared up. I got tears in my eyes. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I was so excited about this because, you know, pink and black is my thing. All right, so I'm starting to untwist it, and I'm going to start pulling these apart very carefully. I'm pulling the pink apart from the black, and you want to go slow. I probably already went a little bit too fast, and they will come apart down here. Now, as we get towards the end, you got to just untwist before you get yourself into too much trouble. Pull, 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 pull. And then look, you've got black twine and you've got pink twine. All right, so fold it in half. We're using them both at the same time. Make that bow. I used the pink one on the white card and the black one on the black card. So you can get 2 bows out of 1 length of twine. All right, so there is that. And let's make the cute little tiny little tag. That is coming from this stamp set called A Nice Cuppa, which I think is kind of a weird name. I get it, cuppa, you know, whatever, but it's weird to say it. Anyway, we're going to use that little tag right there. And I don't want that square part in there. I want it to just be the tag. So I'm going to use a basic black marker and some Whisper white cardstock. And it would be nice if I had gotten the Whisper white cardstock out. So I'm going to use the watercolor paper instead. It'll work. Okay, so I'm going to take my basic black marker and go around the edges here. Not coloring that square. This is supposed to be like a tea bag. And we're going to use that as a teeny tiny tag. And I'm going to stamp right there. And this is when you want to use your paper snips again. I think there's a framelit for this. I'm not sure, but this one is so simple to cut out that I'm just going to cut it out in the time it would take me to find the framelit. I know I should tell you guys, no, use a framelit. But today, I'm using my mad cutting skills. There we go. Oh, I still, see now I'm bragging and I'm not gonna like it. Okay, so now this last punch is the hearts border punch. I like the size of this heart, the little heart confettis that come out of here. So I'm gonna use that piece of gold glimmer that I had left, punch out just one of those tiny little hearts, and you guessed it, glue dot. Or the fine tip glue pen would work well for this too. Okay, so we've got our pieces. Let's get our heart on. I think our heart is ready to go on. Yep, it's dry. Just in that amount of time. It dries pretty quickly. All right, use your fine tip glue pen to go around the edges. I shouldn't have left mine open from the last project. Uh-oh. The fine tip glue pen has a needle right here that goes in there and keeps it from getting clogged. So let's unclog it. But I have found that if you leave this glue tip pen open overnight, it's clogged. I have made that mistake twice now. And then I try to jam that little needle point in and I bend it and then I'm all kinds of mad. So I'm trying to be really good with this one. That way I can take it and go back over and use those old bottles when I'm done with them, or when I'm done with this bottle. Just put them on those other ones. Okay, don't go too crazy with the glue. Set it down nicely, and you can take something flat and push it down and let it dry like a block. But for the sake of the video, we're just going to move on. All right, let's put on a few more glue dots. I can't believe I'm not out already, considering how many I am using. That goes there. The twine bow, stick it on. Use the tip of your paper snips, just like that. And our little tag I stuck on with a dimensional, and you have to cut a piece of dimensional because the dimensionals are too fat for this guy. So cut a piece of dimensional, put it on there, and slide it under but down. So it looks like it's coming off of there, but it's really just on a dimensional. All right, there is your sweet little Valentine cards. This card base, I forgot to tell you, is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. I cut it down to be a square card. So you can make an envelope for this using the envelope punch board. Okay, I hope you guys like this. This is a little more intense project, a little higher level, but it's a great way to use some of those products in the new catalogs. All right, you guys, let me know if you have any questions. Bye.